Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Cincy game hunting. We are actually going to be heading out of town this week. Going to head back to Las Vegas. I actually lived out there for a couple years, and I'm going to hang out with another YouTuber possibly and go do some game hunting while we're there. But for right now, we're going to go to Best Buy. I always keep a tab open in my phone for when games kind of sneak below $10 on any of the main systems, Switch, Xbox or PlayStation. And an Xbox game popped up that I've been kind of looking forward to grabbing for $9.99. So the Best Buy I'm going to says they have one in stock. I always take that with a grain of salt because you never know when the inventories are properly maintained on those websites. But hey, we're gonna sneak in there and see what we get. Alright guys, we got the last copy of it in there. So the game in question, as you guys saw, was the Falconer on the Xbox One. I actually played this on Game Pass when I had my 3-month subscription when I bought my Series X. And it was a lot of fun. I just didn't have a lot of time to put into it because I was trying to play as many different games as I could while I had the 3-month membership. So I definitely wanted to come back to it. But picking this up for $10, I am totally down with that. And it's regularly like about a $40 game. It just happens, Best Buy randomly will just drop games to a super cheap price. Like when we found, what was it, Gears Tactics a while back. So keep your eyes open. Games get discounted randomly at Best Buy, and if you keep a tab open on your phone or on your web browser or whatever, you might be able to find some cheap games like this. And like I said, I posted this one on my Twitter and Instagram, I believe. And so folks can grab it too. So keep an eye out on that, and keep an eye out on my Instagram and Twitter. You never know when you're going to find a game for super cheap. Alright guys, as you saw, we stepped into GameStop real quick, and when I go over to GameStop, I'm usually first and foremost looking for the older games. Whether it be Wii U, 360, PS3, or DS games even, or Vita games. So I always check their racks, and sometimes they don't even have racks. Sometimes they just keep them in the drawers behind the desk, and you gotta ask them what they have. But it's totally worth your while, because you get games like I found today. The game I found on the wall was Spider-Man Web of Shadows on the PS3. Now, it was $25, but at the time of recording this game is going for over $70. So yeah, they don't really keep track of their older games and change the prices on them very often, so you can find good deals like this just sitting around on a shelf at a GameStop. And I said, $70 game for $25, and I used all reward credits to buy it, so didn't cost me a thing. So, but yeah, keep an eye out. You never know when you're gonna find a crazy deal like this, or even like the one that I found with Godzilla, or Pokemon White version 2. Games that are like over $100 games that are just showing up for like $60 or $70. Always totally worth it to look out. I found Spider-Man Web of Shadows today for $25. All right, guys, as you saw, we stepped into Goodwill real quick, and I'm telling you, the thrift stores by me have dried up big time. I have not found hardly anything at most of the thrift stores in the last month or so. As you saw in there, it was pretty much just a bunch of token sports games and Connect games and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I mean, there's always down times when you're looking for game hunting in thrift stores, and it usually picks back up at certain months of the year. But we ended up picking up one game, and as you saw in there, they had a Wii in there, and they wanted $60 for it. And no, we're not doing that. The one game we picked up was Madden Football on the 3DS. Now, if y'all don't know, this was the only Madden game on 3DS. I think it only goes for around $10 to $15, but I picked it up for $6. It is what it is. It's complete. It's got the manual and everything inside, so I'm surprised, because usually you find DS and 3DS games at the thrift store, and somebody's already hightailed it off with the chip. So anyway, picked up Madden Football for $6 over at the Goodwill. Not too bad, and like I said, hopefully thrift stores start picking up in my area, but luckily we've been having a lot of good luck at retail and over at pawn shops, so hopefully the luck continues. All right, guys, we are in Las Vegas, and I'm with your boy, Gat Cognac.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy.
We're gonna go out and do some hunting today. We're gonna hit up some pawn shops. We're gonna hit up some thrift stores, maybe. Maybe some retail shops. We don't know what we're doing yet. And Gat, I used to live in Las Vegas. How is the hunting here right now, man?
You know, it's only been what, 7 or 8 months since it's been pretty good, and then out of nowhere it just got crazy because everyone's doing it. So it's tough. You can still find stuff though, but it's just tough. Diligence does the work for you.
I mean, diligence is everywhere you have to do. If you ain't going out almost every other day, you're gonna miss everything, you know?
For sure.
I mean, a buddy of mine found Mega Man Legends 2 at the Salvation Army the other day.
Oh man.
Complete. I'm like, I missed that one. It wasn't that far away from my house either. So anyway, we're gonna hit up a couple of pawn shops, like I said. I used to live in Las Vegas, so this is kind of like my old home turf. And I used to find tons of stuff at thrift stores out here, and I came back about 2 years ago, and every one I went to was empty. There was nothing there. So I'm not sure what we're gonna find today, but stick with us, see what we get. guys saw, we went into Walmart.
Man.
We thought it was gonna work out.
Right, almost.
I didn't actually see it at first. He's like, wait, isn't that Streets of Rage supposed to be? I'm like, it is. And I was like, all right, let's go get the dude. And he takes it out. I scan it, and I'm like, okay, we'll take one. We each going to get one of them a piece. No.
Yeah.
Dude's like, oh, let me check it too. It might be looking at the online price. And I'm like, no, I'm looking at your store price.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's 3 cents. It's a wrong price. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, no.
I gave him the side eye like twice. I'm like, is it really?
No, he wasn't trying to give it up, man.
All right, so we saw Streets of Rage at Walmart for 3 cents, and apparently they were supposed to have Captain Tsubasa over there too. But after the debacle with Streets of Rage, I wasn't even gonna bother looking for Captain Tsubasa. So anyway, we struck out at Walmart. We did know that today, though, this week, actually the whole week, they're doing a sale over at GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
Any game, $19 and under. If you buy 5 of them, you get them all for $50 combined. So we grabbed some games, and we kind of packed them together, because I couldn't find 5 games that I wanted by myself. So trust me, I struggle to find 5 games under $19 that I even give a crap about. So
that's like everything. One location is never going to carry all 5 games you want.
Right.
That's never going to happen.
So we kind of pulled it together. We're probably going to do this again if we find another games out that have the decent deals with prices and stuff like that. But I bought all older games for the most part. You bought some newer stuff. First of all, Gak, show them what you got.
All right. So first thing I do gotta give a shout out to Hyphy Gold, because he told me this game is for pretty much $10 now, and it's like a Dead Space type of game called The Persistence. Dumb name, but it's supposed to be a pretty cool game. If you like survival horror like me, this is the way to go. $10, man, you can't beat that.
And he actually got it for $10 on the tag, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'm like,
so it's already at that price. So if you guys are looking for this game pre-owned, it's already $10. So online should be, on sale.
And this way, at least by buying it at the store, we know that we're going to get it with the case and everything like that. We're not going to be stuck with a chip-only situation.
That's right.
So
there it is.
Pick that up for $10. What was the other one you grabbed?
And I was struggling to find another game that was $9.99.
He literally spent about 10 minutes trying to go through all the cracks.
I was going to give up. And bam, Dragon's Crown. Like, you can't go wrong with Atlas games, right? So this is a 2D side-scrolling game, very good art to it. If you guys do like Odin's Spear, it's almost the same thing like that. Came out for the PS3, then they came out on Vita and PS4 for $10 because of the deal, or else it'd be $19.99.
Yeah.
Good game, man.
All right. As you all saw, I saw Spider-Man Friend or Foe in there, and I almost got it, then I realized I already had it in the collection. And I'm not one, I don't sell stuff. I know you sell stuff once in a while to get stuff on the collection. I don't sell stuff because I just don't like doing it, because it annoys the crap out of me dealing with people on eBay and whatnot. So I left Friend or Foe there. I already got it in the collection for Xbox 360, but I picked up Fast and Furious Showdown for the Wii U, one of the few Wii U games I don't have. Unfortunately, it's in a GameStop box, with I hate
that too.
But it was a Wii U game. We picked it up for $10. Oh, I'm down with that. I'm fine with that. We also grabbed, and this is one that Gak was telling me, dude, look, Shake It's right there. I'm like, I overlooked it like 4 times, and I've needed this game for a while. Wario Land Shake It on the Wii. Even for $14.99, that's a steal. Great price for that game. But we bought it for $10 because the deal, we ended up getting them all for $10 a piece. So awesome there. And the last game actually was $10, but it didn't matter because I'm already, gonna get this for $10 anyway, and I don't have this game. Dead to Rights Retribution. Don't know much about this. I played the original Dead to Rights on PS2 back in the day, but I have not seen the PS3 game, so picked that up for $10 as well. So he paid $20, I paid $30. We combined them together, got them for a cheap price, and we're gonna keep on going. The thrift stores have been kind of weak since we've been out here.
I've been telling y'all.
We went into a couple of thrift stores already, and we didn't find nothing. We're gonna try to hit up a couple more pawn shops too. The pawn shop we went into was pricing everything individually. We weren't down with that. So, anyways, said 5 games, $50. That's how we do. right, we stepped into Cash America Super Pawn. In Ohio, it's just Cash America. I don't know why it makes it super, but apparently it's super out here. So there's that. I didn't find anything. I actually was going to grab that Metal Gear Solid collection, but it was missing the second disc, and that pretty much has almost all the games except for Metal Gear Solid 4 on it, so kind of defeats the point of that. Why don't you save the good one for last? Okay. They probably saw it in the video, but Gak found 3 games in the dollar bin.
Games, yep. Got the Robotech game, PS2.
Yep.
This one's actually in decent condition, complete in box.
Is that an actual case, or is that like a Hollywood video case? It looks like
no, this is an actual case.
Okay.
So yeah, because
it looks strange.
Like it.
Yeah, it looks like a Hollywood video type case, but
no, it's just this is one of those like not first year, but very beginning of the PS2 era.
Gotcha.
Games. Robotech. I mean, it's not really a rare game. It's not worth $100, but you know, you don't see these games a lot.
Yeah.
So I got it because my PS2 library needs to be built.
You know what? And say if you ain't got it for $1, why not?
Come on, you know, I can like do anything to get $1. And then I got Deus Ex Human Revolution. This is actually a really good cyberpunk type of game, RPG style, and like a first person, or actually third person shooter type. So I've never played this, but I had a friend that was so into it, he would tell me like the whole story. So eventually I just got this for $1, even though it's worth $6 at GameStop. I mean,
food for thought, if you ever find the Wii U version, I guess that's worth like close to like $30 or something like that for some reason.
Yeah.
So if you ever see the Wii U version, snap that up. I think GameStop's still selling it for like $5, so.
I definitely gotta pick that up because I don't have that in my collection for sure.
And then here's the big one. Show me
the big one.
I was a little annoyed when I saw this. I totally didn't even look at it because look at the side. Look at the side first. There's nothing written there. I totally just skipped right over it. I'm like, what am I thinking?
So, you know, like for me, when I go to the pawn shops, I have to check like almost everything because some of the stuff are just hidden, man. So I saw this generic freaking printout and I was like, oh snaps, Godzilla. Anything Godzilla is worth money. And literally, this one's Godzilla Save the Earth, so it's actually a little bit more rare than Unleash one, going for about $50 loose. So here it is in here. I used to have this game loose as well. It's kind of scratched up though, but
that's not the worst I've seen though.
Yeah,
come on now.
It's not like a knife or a key went into it.
Yeah, when I saw you pull it off the shelf, I was like, oh come on. I'm busy recording, and actually I turned the recording off. I had to turn the start it back up again. I was like, did you really just find that sitting there?
Yeah, you do got to check. But next time I'll record.
That's honestly you catching me slipping because I totally wasn't even looking at the blank box. I was like,
yeah. And
that's something I always do. I always look at the blank boxes, you know? Because usually if it's a blank box on the side, there's nothing written on the front of it. I'm like, if I would have just taken one small glimpse at that, I would have realized that was a Godzilla game.
It's
but
too,
Gak over here catching me slipping, picking up Godzilla for $1.
Can't beat that, right?
That is sick. All right, guys, last stop of the week, and we stepped into another GameStop. We're going to take a part in that 5 for $50 deal again. Ended up picking up 2 more for Gak and 1 more for me. Or 3 more for me. I'm gonna get 5. I can't do math. I'm terrible at that.
1 plus 2 equals 5.
Right. We're gonna go with that. We didn't find a lot at the thrift store. A lot of games were in the wrong spot. Not the right game in the case and stuff like that. A lot of the pawn shops were kind of let down too.
Yeah, they're hit or miss, man. Like sometimes nowadays, a lot of them aren't taking in. You know, not even OG, but Xbox 360 and PS3, even they're not taking it in anymore like that, so you're not gonna find too much hanging around.
Yeah, and so like we got lucky with that first stop where we found Godzilla. I was like, man. And I said I definitely got caught slipping on that one. I'm not gonna lie about it. I totally just overlooked that case altogether, and that was my bad. But hey, good up for you finding that for $1.
Yeah,
$1. That is crazy.
It's been a while.
All right, Gak, show them what you got. So what you got from the GameStop.
First thing I got was Shenmue 3. So if you guys never played this, the first 2 came out like way back, like over a decade ago. And you know, finally the guy had a kickstart and he created the 3rd one, which he's been meaning to do forever. And I've been meaning to play it. It's around for like 20 bucks forever, but I was trying to play that low price, you know, the $10. You can't beat that, man. I
love that game back on the Dreamcast, but like I've never had a chance to play the 3rd one. I found that at a Walmart again for dirt cheap. I still haven't gotten around to playing it yet. 3 cents? No, it was not 3 cents when I found it. I want to say it was like $10. So it was actually about the same price you found that one for. So
yeah, that's definitely doable for me.
What else you got?
So the next thing I got, which like surprised the crap out of us, was this Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Age.
And it's a limited edition.
Yeah, it's like a steelbook, limited edition, and check it out, man. This thing is like almost brand new. Like I'm not sure if they just decided to gut this thing and turn it into a pre-owned. I don't know. And if you look inside, like everything is in there intact. Game is in there. I don't even see any fingerprints in there, man. It's looking good.
Yeah, when we saw that, I was like, I bet you they put that on as just a regular version of the game.
Right.
Because I think the limited edition steelbook, we looked it up, I think it was about a $30 to $40 game. So
yeah,
not a bad pickup on that one for $10. $10 a piece for these, man.
Exactly.
You gotta take part in these sales when they come along, because these, if you're gonna get some cheap games at GameStop, this is the time to do it when you got those deals with the buy 5 get for $50 type deal.
Especially for PS4.
Right.
Especially they'll weed them out. So.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, I picked up Remothered on the PS4. One of those survival horror games I really haven't had a chance to get to yet. And you said you've played it before. You said it had some bugs originally when it first came out.
Yeah, and I know Radical Reggie was the one that brought that up where I got from. And when they first came out with that game, it was really buggy. It was unplayable. So they finally patched that out. So if you guys are into like survival horror, like Clock Tower type, that's a game to play because you're more running away than you're actually fighting the characters and stuff like that. So it's one of those psychological horror games. Check that out. It's a good game.
Definitely. For $10 on that one. We also grabbed on the Switch Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, the new and tasty edition. We both were talking about this. Like it's a PS1 game back in the day that I never actually owned. Yeah. I've only played one Oddworld game, and it was a random Xbox one that I found later on in life. It was an Xbox exclusive game that came out, like the Wrath or something like that.
Right, because they first started off as PS1's mascot, and then later they jumped to Xbox. They skipped the PS2.
But hey, a Switch game for $10. Yeah, anytime that's found is pretty much a solid.
Switch,
you know?
Man, it costs more to make that game on the freaking chip.
Right. And the last one we found was at the beginning. When we first walked in there, we started looking at the older games. Was a Bleach Soul Resurrection, and like you said, we were talking about like Atlas games and NIS America games. It's an NIS game. I'm splitting that out. But this is like a $30 to $40 game again. Definitely solid to find. PS3, 360, DS games, Vita games, Wii games. Most of the time, if it's not a Mario game, they don't care. They price them super cheap.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep an eye out for these obscure games.
Especially because that's an anime title. So I mentioned on my channel before, like a lot of the anime titles like Attack on Titan and One Punch Man, those are like going up in value just because the increase in popularity in animes. So
definitely. Yeah. And I said this is the way to do it. We paired them up, got all the games we wanted, because a lot of times I'll go in there and I'll find like 3 games that I want, and I'm trying to like scrounge up 2 more games that I can give a darn about.
It's always been like a hassle just trying to find more than 3 games on a sale, man.
Right. So we paired it up. We did it 2 times. We got a bunch of games we wanted to grab for $10 a piece, and that's how we end the week.
For the collection, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Gak, I appreciate you letting me tag along with you today. I appreciate you in general for all the stuff you do, man. If you guys don't know, check out his channel. I'm gonna put a link in the description. Gak Cognac. He does mostly pickup videos. He's the man of doing the Grail pickups, man.
Oh yeah, I pay up.
Hey, I'm a cheapskate. This guy pays the money to get the big stuff. I mean, I'm in all of the stuff you find sometimes, man.
Man, well, I mean, I remember like, yeah, when you gave me the shout out last time out the way out, and I was like, oh man, since to be checking out my stuff too, man. So I do appreciate you for having me on.
No, I appreciate you, man.
And he's been good for the community. Like, he's been giving shout outs from me, Pipe Go, Click Flip, all of them. And like, he's been good for it, man. Like, I appreciate that.
No, man, I said, we're all doing this, we're all having fun with this, and it's what it's all about. So, yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to hang out with you guys, and especially we're both Vegas guys. I mean, like, I mean, you're from Oakland, I'm originally from Indiana, but we both lived in Vegas for years now. I mean, like, I moved away about 5 years ago, and I loved it here. Yeah. So I was excited when I come back to Vegas fairly often. So I figured one of these times I was going to try and hook up with you and hang out and we go do some game hunting. So I'm glad we can set this up. And guys, until next week, keep hunting.
Laters.